What's up guys, Paul here from eCommerce Gold, and in this video I'm going to be showing you two different methods for adding e-commerce functionality to an existing WordPress website. Now you may already have a blog or a business website and you want to add e-commerce functionality to start selling products, to start making money, or potentially start making more money from your website and your business. And in this video I'm going to briefly cover on how to start it. If you would like me to go and do a full tutorial on either of these methods, let me know in the comments below. I do plan on doing this, but if people let me know that there is more demand for it, I will bump them up my list of videos that I've planned to do in the near future. So with that out of the way, let's jump into my computer and we'll get this started. So the first method is the most popular way of adding e-commerce functionality to a WordPress website, and it's the method that is recommended by the majority of YouTubers, e-commerce bloggers and general e-commerce specialists around the WordPress platform, and that is using a free plugin called WooCommerce. And installing it is really simple to do. Just go to plugins, click on add new, and then type in the search bar WooCommerce and it will start searching for this plugin. Now, as you can see, I've already installed the plugin, but at this point, I would highly recommend installing this plugin as well, the PDF invoices and packing slips plugin, because it adds the e-commerce functionality that's missing from the core WooCommerce platform. And that is the ability to print your invoices and packing slips, and also add sequential order numbers as well. Because with the standard WooCommerce, it randomly generates order numbers, and this can get really confusing, especially when you're trying to do accounting and things like that for your e-commerce business. So I would highly recommend installing this plugin along with the standard core WooCommerce plugin. So let's go and activate this plugin. I'm not going to install this one now because I'm just showing you what WooCommerce does to the actual WordPress system. Now, when you install WooCommerce, what it does is it actually adds the e-commerce functionality into the WordPress system. So you actually do all the e-commerce aspects using the WordPress platform, which is going to differ in method 2, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. But once you've installed WooCommerce, it will add a series of pages to your website. So if we go to the front end of the website, I'll click refresh, and as you can see, it automatically adds these pages to your website. So it adds the cart and checkout pages, and this is basically the way that customers can go from seeing a product on your site to actually buying it from you. These are two really important features that you need in order to be able to sell through your website. Another important aspect is the My Account section. So if you've got customers and you want to keep those customers' details, so you want them to create an account with you and potentially become recurring customers, you want them to be able to create accounts on your website, and that's what the My Account functionality does within WooCommerce. Now, the next lot of pages it allows you to create are basically your sales pages. So you get your category pages, which in this case is the shop page. And as you can see, there's lots of products on this page. And it also allows you to create a product page, which looks a little something like this, depending on the theme that you're using. And this adds the ability that customers can come in, see what they want, click the add to cart button, and then go through the checkout process. So that's the front end of your website. But what about the back end? Well, on the back end, it's really quite simple to use because it does add all the product and order functionality that you need, especially when you install that additional PDF invoices and packing slip plugin. Now, to add a new product and add new categories, get it all started is really simple. Just click on products, and it will take you to a list of all your existing products, and you just want to click add new, and it will take you to the add new product page, where it's a really simple layout based on the classic WordPress editor. It's not based off the new Gutenberg editor, instead it's based off the classic editor. But talking about the Gutenberg editor, now WooCommerce has been evolved to work with the Gutenberg editor when you're doing theme customization. So if you're customizing the front end of your website, so your homepage for example, WooCommerce has developed blocks that you can insert into pages. So if you've got the front end of your website and you just want to insert a little area where it says like shop or buy from us, things like that, you can add a section showing a few products from your catalog. This makes it really easy to integrate WooCommerce with an existing website. But there is a caveat to that, and that is that you need your theme to have WooCommerce integration, because unfortunately WooCommerce doesn't work with every single theme. You do need the theme to be able to integrate with the WooCommerce plugin. So if you've got an existing website, you may want to check with your theme's author to see if this integration and functionality is possible on your existing website. So that is basically method one. As I say, this is just a quick video showing you basically how you can do this. If you'd like me to do a full WooCommerce tutorial showing you all the steps on how to get started, add new products, set up category pages, all things like that, then let me know in the comments below, because the more people who ask for it, the more impetus there is on me to actually go and do a full tutorial like that. So what are some of the pros and cons of the WooCommerce plugin? Well, the first pro is it's free to use, and it always has been. It is now, and as far as I know, it always is going to be free to use. That is for the core WooCommerce plugin. This is because they want it to be incredibly popular. They want it to be the official e-commerce plugin of WooCommerce. And the second pro is there's lots of plugins out there that actually complement the core WooCommerce plugin. As you can see, I pointed out the PDF invoice and packing slips. That's just one example of the massive amount of plugins that's out there that you can use with WooCommerce. And that leads me on to the third pro, is the flexibility of the WooCommerce plugin. With the aforementioned selection of plugins, there's developers out there who have realized the potential that this WooCommerce plugin has, and it can be used as a base for subscription sites, membership sites, affiliate marketing sites, multi-vendor marketplaces. There is so many options when it comes to WooCommerce, because there's so many developers who have seen the potential and created this vast array of really quite incredible plugins. The fourth is very similar to this in the fact that there are a massive number of themes available that have got WooCommerce integration, because theme developers know that having e-commerce functionality on your website is really, really important. So they've made sure that their themes work with the WooCommerce plugin, and this just means there's so many options when it comes to the design aspects of your website. And the fifth and final pro for the WooCommerce plugin is that there is a large user base out there. There's lots of people who are experts and specialists in WooCommerce. There's YouTubers, bloggers, developers, you name it. There's a massive user base of people out there who specialize in using this plugin. And what this means is there's a massive amount of resources online. Pretty much if you've got a problem or there's something you can't figure out how to do, a quick Google search will generally generate the answer, because somebody's either written a blog post about it, created a video, or asked a question in a forum somewhere. There's just a massive amount of resources available online, and there's lots of people you can go and ask for advice as well. So what about the cons of the WooCommerce platform? Because unfortunately it's not perfect, like every other e-commerce platform out there. Now the first con is that even though there are a massive amount of plugins out there, with lots of them, if you want the premium features, you're gonna have to pay for it. And if you're not careful, it can make your WooCommerce site quite expensive quite quickly if you're paying for lots of premium plugins. So you do want to be careful with that, and it's just something you do want to bear in mind with WooCommerce. And the second con is it requires updating. And while this in itself isn't a particularly negative thing, because everything requires updating, the problem you can get is very much into point number 3 on the cons, is that you can run into potential theme conflicts or potential plugin conflicts when you go through the updating process. This is because generally WooCommerce will update their plugin and then everybody else has to catch up and do the relevant updates. So if you're a bit too quick when a update for WooCommerce comes out and you update your plugin, you can actually break your site, because an additional plugin that you've got may not have been updated to work with these new features within WooCommerce. So it is something you do need to be aware of. And when you've got lots of plugins running around the core WooCommerce plugin, this can cause potentially lots of problems on your website. So it's something that you need to spend time researching on how to do it and how to do it effectively, or you need to make sure your developer knows what they're doing when it comes to updating WooCommerce and WordPress in general. And the fourth con is it doesn't work with every single theme out there. I did mention this earlier in the video, but there are a lot of themes that don't actually have WooCommerce integration. So if you don't have this with your existing theme, if you want to add e-commerce functionality using WooCommerce, it may require that you have to have a complete site redesign. And this can be expensive if you're paying other people to do it. It's just something you do want to be aware of, because not every theme has WooCommerce integration. And con number 5 is you do need to do optimization on the WooCommerce plugin, because if you just install it and leave it to do what it's going to do, it can bog down your site, especially when you install lots of additional plugins. So you are going to have to go through and optimize your WordPress website to make sure that it's running effectively when you've got WooCommerce installed, because as I say, if you're not careful, you can end up really slowing and really bogging down your site. So that's method number one, which is WooCommerce. But what about method number two? Well, method number two is a very unique and rather interesting option when it comes to adding e-commerce functionality to a WordPress website, because it goes about it in a completely different way to WooCommerce, because WooCommerce actually installs it on your WordPress website. But the second option, which is from a platform called Ecwid, actually basically imports a fully hosted e-commerce solution directly into your WordPress website. But what does this actually look like? Well, I'm going to jump back into my computer and actually show you what this is like to do. So as you can see, I'm back in my WordPress dashboard and there's a new tab here. And this is Ecwid. It is a fully hosted e-commerce solution. And to get it installed with WordPress is really, really simple. Now, as you can see, this is the Ecwid dashboard. So what I'm going to do is go into my WordPress dashboard, go into plugins, click add new. And what we're going to search for this time is we're going to search for Ecwid. And when that result comes up, you want to install this one, which is by Ecwid Ecommerce, because that's the guys who actually built the plugin and the guys behind the platform. So what we're going to do is going to install this plugin, and then we're going to activate it once it's installed. And there we go, click activate. And what it'll ask you to do is to connect your Ecwid store to your WordPress website. Now, the good thing with Ecwid is they do have a completely free plan for life, but it is missing a few features that you might want to have on your e-commerce website, but there's no kind of trial that you have to worry about, like 14 days to use it. There is a free plan for life, so you can really test this out before committing to a paid plan. So what I'm going to do is click connect your store. And what it will do is it'll ask me if I want to actually connect my Ecwid dashboard to this WordPress website. So let's click accept. And what you'll see is it brings in the complete Ecwid dashboard. So this is the Ecwid dashboard on Ecwid. Now I will leave my partner link in the description below so you can go and check out Ecwid for yourself. As I say, they do a completely free plan for life, so you can go and test this out really in depth before committing to a paid plan if you want all the e-commerce features. But as you can see, this is the Ecwid dashboard, and now this Ecwid dashboard is completely embedded in my WordPress website. And if we actually go onto the front end of the site, refresh it, it adds the store option. And as you can see, it's added an e-commerce store to my website. How awesome is that? And this has just imported all the demo information from my Ecwid dashboard. But what's this actually like to use? Well, it's really simple, because it allows you to add a really effective B2C e-commerce website. And if you're not sure what that means, that's business to customer. And what you can do with Ecwid is you can sell physical products, digital products, and virtual products as well. And what's really good about this is, as I say, it's a completely fully hosted solution. And this means that you get full PCI compliant servers, because unlike WooCommerce, where all of the e-commerce functionality is actually on your WordPress website, with Ecwid, it basically imports it from their servers. So all of this is actually running on their servers, and it's just importing into your WordPress dashboard. And this means that your checkout process, everything like that, is secure because it runs through Ecwid servers. It's not actually running through your servers, which means that if you do need PCI compliance, if you're using payment gateways such as like WorldPay, SagePay, or any of these more traditional ones, this is going to reduce the amount of work you need to do as a website owner to become PCI compliant. Just makes life a little bit easier. And what you get, as I say, it's fully hosted e-commerce solution. So you get all the features of a fully hosted platform. So you get order management, you get inventory management, you get payment gateways integrated. There's lots of things you can do. And as you can see under this sales channel section here, and what this means is you can sell through multiple sales channels using your Ecwid dashboard. So you can import it into your WordPress website. If you've got a Facebook and Instagram following, you can also sell directly through those social media accounts as well. And if you've got an eBay or Amazon account, you can also manage your orders directly in the Ecwid dashboard rather than having to manage orders on different places. It just creates basically a central sale point, which I think is really, really good. So what's it like to use? Well, it's really, really simple. So I'm just going to show you what it's like to add a new product. So we're going to catalog, click add new product. As you can see, it's a completely different interface to the WooCommerce one. It's a much more modern looking one in my opinion, and what you can do is just go through, add all the information you need. See, there's a tab structure at the top. As I mentioned with WooCommerce, If you'd like to see me do a full Ecwid tutorial, I will happily do it. Just let me know in the comments so I've got more impetus to actually go out there and actually do it. I am planning to do one, but the more people who tell me they want it, the quicker I'm going to get it done. So please let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do a full Ecwid tutorial. So that is Ecwid, and it's a really, really good option in my opinion, especially if you don't want the hassle of managing the WooCommerce aspects in terms of requiring the updates and making sure that you've got all the functionality by installing different plugins and making sure that it works with different themes and things like that, because you don't have those issues with Ecwid. And that is where I'm going to come to the pros and cons of the Ecwid platform. Now, the first pro of Ecwid, as I've already mentioned, is it's a fully hosted e-commerce platform that you import into your WordPress dashboard. And this means it brings in all the features, the security things like secure checkout, PCI compliant checkout. Also, it brings everything that you need in order to quickly and easily start selling. There's also the multi-channel sales option, which is really, really good, and something that if you was going to do that with WooCommerce would require the installation of additional plugins, which potentially could have a negative impact on your site's load speed. The second pro is you only require one plugin. Because everything is built into the Ecwid system, you only need that one plugin on WordPress. You don't need to have multiple different plugins in order to get all that functionality. It's just available in that single one plugin. You also reduce the chances of plugin conflict, and there is little to no chance of theme conflict. The reason is it works with every single theme, and the theme doesn't need specific Ecwid integration, because it just works with it, because it uses shortcode on pages, and it just doesn't have that direct integration that's required with WooCommerce. And this means that if you've got an existing website that doesn't have WooCommerce integration, but you want to keep it exactly the way it is, then Ecwid may be a really good solution for you. The fourth pro is that you get direct support from the Ecwid team. Now, with WooCommerce, there is lots of resources available out there. There's lots of people you can ask. But with Ecwid, you can actually contact the guys directly at Ecwid, and they provide direct support to you. This means that if you're having any kind of issues or problems with the Ecwid aspects of your WooCommerce site, you can contact them and they will get back to you and work with you on resolving that issue, which is a really good thing in my opinion, because sometimes being able to go directly to the developer and ask them, how do I resolve this problem, and they give you a specific answer to that problem, just makes life so much easier. So those are the four main pros that I've listed with Ecwid. What about the cons? Well, the first con is it's not completely free. Yes, they do a completely free plan, but it is limited on features because you don't get access to the multiple sales channels and things like that on the free platform, which is understandable. They're not going to give everything away for free. But the paid packages are actually quite reasonable. They start from $15 a month for their venture package. That's if you pay on a monthly basis. If you pay annually, this drops to $12.50. They also will bill you in your local currency as well, which is really, really useful. So for example, here in the UK, they would bill you in pounds rather than bill you in dollars. So even though it's not completely free to use, with going with the paid plans, you do get lots more features on the Ecwid platform. You also get a larger amount of products that you can sell as well. The second con is you do get less flexibility. This is because Ecwid is basically a business to customer e-commerce platform. It's for pretty simple e-commerce transactions where a customer comes in, sees the product and wants to buy the product. If you want to create a very complicated e-commerce website, so you want memberships and subscriptions and potentially multi-vendor, then this isn't going to be the option for you, because it is basically focused on that B2C aspect rather than being a core plugin which you can build off lots of different kinds of e-commerce websites. So it is less flexible in that way. And the third con is you do lose some control over the performance and optimization aspects of the e-commerce part of your website. This is because things like your product pages, your category pages, checkout pages, and all your product images are actually stored on Ecwid servers, and then these are served up to your website. So you have less control over how this function actually works. So if you do want to have full control over optimization, then maybe Ecwid isn't the ideal solution for you, but still they are pretty good when it comes to this serving up, because they do use really good servers and they've got like a global CDN and things like that that make sure that this is actually a really quick process. So those are the two methods you can use in order to add e-commerce functionality to an existing WordPress website. They do approach this from completely different methods, and it very much depends on you, your business and your website as to which is the best option for you. But they are both viable options, and they are both great options in my opinion. Now, as I said earlier in the video, if you would like to see me do a full tutorial video on both of these platforms, please let me know in the comments, because it will give me more impetus to actually go and do that, because I am planning on doing it, but the more people who want it, the quicker I'll get around to doing it. So if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you could smash that like button, because it really does help the channel out with the YouTube algorithm. Also, if you want to see more content like that, consider hitting the subscribe button, because I post content like this on a weekly basis. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Stay awesome, and I'll see you all in the next video.